Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the Scrap and Roll MMA podcast. I'm your host, Sky. We got your host, Jace. Hey, your boy, CJ in the building. And special guest, Isaiah, is back because all the comments was going crazy last week. The comments were going crazy on Instagram. It's going crazy on YouTube. They had a lot of smoke for you, Isaiah. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. If you didn't see last week's episode, go back, run it back. You know, Isaiah had wrote in, he had a hot take, and I thought it was a mild take, but little did I know it really was that ether. Enough so that it got CJ to come back on the pod and was like, wait a minute, this young blood talking crazy.
Hold up, wait a minute.
If y'all don't know, last week Isaiah came on. He said that Isreal Adesanya, that the middleweight GOAT goes Isreal Adesanya, Robert Whitaker, and then straight into Anderson Silva gets the third spot so graciously.
Wow. So, Isaiah, you still feel the same way?
I absolutely do. Still feel the same way I did last week, the week before that, the month before that, and maybe around the year before that. But I
Before
do
I
have the
cut,
same
can I
opinion.
cut you off real quick? Did you
Nah, of
ever go
course.
back and watch a full fight of Anderson Silva?
I did actually. Do you
Was
want
that the
me to?
first time you watched a full fight of Anderson Silva?
No. I watched this full fight with Chael Sonnen the first time.
Which
And
one?
he said the
The
first
first
fight.
one or okay, first fight.
And then what was the fight that you went and just watched?
I watched a couple of fights actually. I wrote them down, but off the top of my head, I saw his two fights with Rich Franklin. Sorry, not Ric Flair. I saw his fight with Yushin Okami. I saw his fight with Dan Henderson, Vitor Belfort, and obviously, I have seen the Forrest Griffin fight.
Hey, I like
Obviously,
people doing homework. I like it.
I mean, I would never, just to clarify, I would never make a point without genuinely having my own opinion on it. Like, I didn't regurgitate what someone's told me. These are all just my genuine thoughts on it. And some people happen to disagree, some people happen to agree. But that's how I got.
Majority of people disagreed.
Majority of your audience disagrees.
And you still feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Oh, man, I don't know. CJ?
No, before I go, I was going wild in the comments and stuff like that. Bro's a hella respectable kid. I even said that when he first got on. But to me, I was just like, and I appreciate you being on, Isaiah. You're not one of them asshole ass kids who don't, I can't stand you. Respectable. But I even made on my TikTok, I was like, bro, if you started watching in 2019, don't ever talk to me again because I'm just done with you. I don't want to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of times where people be like, oh, I went in back and watched this fight. You have the same mentality of watching stuff from 2020 and beyond. It's like you playing a PlayStation 5 and then you go back to play a PlayStation 2. It ain't gonna hit the same. It's not gonna look the same. You already have your thoughts, what you already have in your head of seeing things that are already advanced. So when you go backward, the product don't even look the same. So things are not gonna look the same to you. But I respect you for doing your homework and going back and looking up things. And calling Rich Franklin Ric Flair is egregious, my boy.
Like 10 times.
So that's what I'm just saying, bro. When people do things like that, and it's just like, bro, we don't even want to hear you. The old heads are like, bro, shut your mouth forever, you know.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. Um, so wait, the thing
Shout
with
out to
Ric Flair,
Ric Flair though, one of the
the thing,
goats.
the thing with Ric Flair actually is because I remember looking at Anderson Silva's Tapology, and I didn't know how to pronounce Rich Franklin, so I thought it was Rick Franklin, and it sounds like Ric Flair.
You in college right now? What?
No,
Damn,
no.
damn,
No,
damn.
Extra.
Damn,
that's
wait a
actually
second.
that's actually why I called him Ric Flair. Like,
Wait, why
ironically,
why couldn't you pronounce Rich Franklin?
I don't know. I just thought my mind just said Rick Franklin. I don't know. That's the first time I saw his name anyway.
Okay.
And then obviously like there's so more content about it. I found out his name was Rich Franklin. And I still got it confused anyway, but yeah. But
that
yeah,
first fight. That's first fight is when Anderson introduced a Muay Thai clinch to the UFC. God
I was
damn.
about to say I was gonna, that was interesting. I remember the tie, the collar tie he hit on Rich Franklin. I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, your man
Um,
But
had a super cricket nose.
I do think that CJ made a great point about the PlayStation because
yep,
when you start watching at a certain time, and you try to go backwards, unless you playing Tony Hawk, I don't care what nobody say. Tony Hawk was killing it on PS2. I will get a PS. I got a PS2 right now that I will play Tony Hawk on. Like, shout out to that whole series, but
Facts.
um, I think overall, and I think a great point that CJ also made too was that like Isaiah is super respectful. Like he's not like these weirdo trolls. Like there's some weirdo trolls in the comments that are just like they're just like waste men. You know what I mean? They hide in, ducking and dodging. You know what I mean? And you came on here, you respectfully gave your opinion. You did the impossible. You actually pissed Jace off. Um,
He did another thing. He made me agree with this dude. I was in the comments like, bro, I don't even like this guy, and I'm over here agreeing with Jace, bro. Like, and I told Mo, I was like, bro, old heads unite over here, brother. I got your back on this one, my guy.
Man, I can
That's
only
facts.
imagine if CJ was on the pod last week. Like you would have been like, brother, what is going
Yo,
I
on?
was sweating.
Isaiah, you know what? You know what's crazy, bro? I was working out. I was riding my bike, working out and stuff, and I was watching the pod like I always do. And I'm yelling at the TV. I was like, "What? Who the hell is? Who is Ric Flair? You don't even know who you're talking about. Like, who's Chris Lieben? You don't know Chris Lieben? Go watch Tough One. Like
um,
sometimes and that's what I always tell people and the young cats too. Right? You can go and do your homework. You can go be a wiki warrior, but living in a time like me and Jace coming up during the time of Anderson Silva, we're seeing things that we ain't never seen before. Watching him literally be on another planet fighting Forrest Griffin in the Matrix, it's crazy.
It's
Doing what he did to
crazy.
Chris Lieben is crazy. Choking out Dan Henderson is bananas. You know what I'm saying? 16 fight win streak is crazy. And the
Vitor,
thing,
front
the
kick.
Vitor front snap kick, nasty work. And the thing is like our fighters gotta know when to call it quits. That messes them up a long time. So now the
mhm.
newer generation just comes and get on Wikipedia and be like, damn, he lost 5 in a row, 6 in a row. Oh, he must have been
8 in a
trash.
row.
Stop it. Stop it.
I mean, I don't necessarily, to be honest, just to clarify. I mean, there's two things I want to say, but I guess this thing I'll add before. I don't think all old fighters are like bad. I just think specifically like certain middleweight is the division I follow because it has my favorite fighter in it. So the fighters I typically
Sean
see,
Strickland?
huh? Nah,
Isn't that your favorite fighter?
nah, that's Izzy.
Oh.
I don't know about Sean,
Is
but
he still a fighter?
absolutely,
Oh.
he's ranked number 2 in the world. What's Anderson's rank?
Is he really ranked number 2 in the world?
Just to clarify, what's Anderson's rank?
Nah, nah, nah.
Whoa,
Ask
he's
him what's
retired.
Tony rank.
Uh,
Wait. Is he legitimately ranked number 2 in the world?
yeah,
Yes.
he's ranked number 2.
That's wild.
Why
Why is
wouldn't
that
he be?
wild?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Why wouldn't it be? He's
Why
lost
Well, he
3 out of
beat
his last 4 fights.
he beat the number 3
in
guy,
championship fights?
and Jared Cannonier was the number 5 guy before he lost to Carlo or Holloway. I don't know how to pronounce his last
Before
name.
we get
Kyle,
into that,
Kyle.
and before CJ got to get up out of here,
Can I respond?
let them know that you're gonna be where you gonna be this weekend representing for one. Because without
Oh, yeah.
CJ on here, we don't be getting our talk about one and none of that.
Man, y'all tune in on Friday. Look for me in the crowd. If y'all can see me, the card is gonna be stacked. Super Leg, Jonathan Haggerty, Liam Harrison is on there. Mikey and Kay, that fight got canceled. JoJo is on there. Man, the card is gonna be stacked, man. Hopefully I get to meet DJ because he's gonna be there for a meet and greet. So I'm super excited. We leave out tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna have to dip out pretty soon to start packing up and stuff. I'm
Copy
super
that.
excited.
Real quick, has DJ talked about why? Like, I know, like after his last fight against Adriano, he was like, "Hey, he's just chilling right now. Like, he didn't really feel inspired to fight." Like, has he came back out and said anything? Because it's been a minute since his last fight.
It's
It
been
has to be a
over a
year.
year. His last fight was the fight that I was at in
Yeah,
it was on May of last year.
yeah.
He called out the Russian dude after his last fight last year, but I don't know what's going on. He probably just getting more money podcasting and doing his YouTube.
Hey,
Facts.
hey, if you can make more money without getting punched in the face, be about it.
Honestly.
Shout out to my girl Rihanna. You make more money doing the makeup than touring, get this bag.
For real
Even
though.
though I would throw ass to see her fucking tour.
At least you talking about a woman this time. Uh,
He's still, he's still, he's still
This
going
this
past.
guy is nasty this time.
Are we ready for my
okay,
favorite portion?
but real quick, I do have to say and I should have started it by saying, excuse my voice. Tonight was the Contender Series. I was there live and watched that girl kill that girl. And my voice is done. It's done. So I won't be able to like yell and go back and forth with you. So go ahead.
All right. On today's episode of Who's Done It Better, and this is going to be more of hardcore edition. Current fighters, but hardcore. In one corner, we have the current middleweight champion of the world. Sorry. In one corner, we have the shout out to Jim Carrey. In one corner, we have the current welterweight champion of the world, Muhammad Belal. What's his name again?
Bilal Muhammad. You
Yeah.
know his name.
You said
In
his name,
the
An
though.
in the
actual champion.
in
You
the
said
other
his name
corner,
already. It doesn't work when you say his name.
we have Mr. Boring himself, Aljamain Sterling.
Hmm.
Okay.
So before you look it up, what you thinking?
Before I look it up, what am I thinking? I'm gonna go with Bilal.
I think I'm gonna go
And
Aljo.
I don't even think it's gonna be close.
I think I'm gonna go Aljo.
CJ?
Aljo.
Jace.
I think it's fucking. They're both terrible. Put me down for Aljo.
Wow, look at me. Only one over
Aljo
here
does,
rocking.
just to clarify, Aljo does have a round one finish over a top five opponent. So
And when we start looking at you talking about so finishes are the only thing that matter?
I mean, no, but I don't think he's
That's
that.
what she
Like
said.
he can't be that. I don't think he's that boring. I don't think he's that bad. He's pretty. He has a decent. Is he like? Would I put him on the headliner of a pay per view against like another grappler? No, but like he's all right.
Who we looking
All
at
right.
first?
We're gonna look at Aljo,
Copy that.
former bantamweight champion, overall record 24-4. Inside the UFC, he is 16-4, 2 KOs, 4 subs, 9 decisions, 1 DQ.
He's a killer.
Um, most recent win over Calvin Cater. Before that, he lost to Sean O'Malley, losing the championship. Before that, Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Pedro Munoz, Jimmy Rivera, Cody Stamen, Brett Johns.
So let's go
Lost to
ahead.
Marlon.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, what do we think are his three best wins? For me, the one that jumps off the page is when he fought Sandhagen. Because
Yup.
that was fucking crazy. He backpacked him. I didn't see that happening at all.
Yeah, I think Sandhagen's is one of his best wins, especially because that pretty much should have been for the title at that time. People were upset that it wasn't. Sandhagen, Henry Cejudo, and the second Peter Yan fight.
Stop it.
It's true though. I agree. All those. I think all those are his best wins, probably. Because you can't say TJ Dillashaw. It's not Aljo's fault. I think he would have won anyway, but TJ showed up with one arm, so and unfortunately can't really.
Yeah, and I lost some fucking cash on that fight because of it.
I'm sorry.
No,
Never
you're
go
not.
with the snake.
That's horrible. Wow. And he showed
Shout
up
out to
injured.
Connor.
What
And
about
he showed up
his
injured.
best losses or worst loss?
Oh,
Obviously, Marlon Moraes put him to
Hmm.
sleep.
Yeah.
yeah, that's by far. Isn't
Yeah,
it weird how like Marlon Moraes has just some fucking snipes on people? Like
yeah.
he
Yeah.
snipes some people.
Didn't he almost he did it with almost did it with Cejudo too, right? Where he was leg kicking him. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, and then Cejudo came out in that second round like a man on a mission. That is a great comeback round right there. Like if you don't remember that, Jace?
No, I'm tripping off this picture of Belal Muhammad. What year was this taken? Like, what the
He,
fuck is
he
that?
Yeah,
got
he
his
looks
riz going
completely
on.
different. He looks completely different.
That's from a
Let's take a look.
1992. Look,
Bilal
look, look.
Bilal Muhammad.
If you look in the background, they still got Spike TV. Like, holy shit.
Shit.
Yeah. Um, Bilal Muhammad 24-3, so they have similar records. Aljo has one more loss. He is in the UFC 15-3. That's impressive. One no contest, two KOs, one sub, 12 decisions. I
That's
think they have
crazy.
close to the same amount of decisions, right? Aljo had 9 decisions. Bilal has 12. Obviously, currently on an 11 fight unbeaten streak. Wins over Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady, Vicente Luque, Stephen Thompson, Damian Maya, Dago Lima, Lyman Good, Takashi
Sato.
Soto. Yeah.
Sato.
Curtis Millender, and then it just continues to go on since you didn't let me, and Tim Means, and so on and so forth. His losses: Geoff Neal, we do not call him Jeff Neal here. Vicente Luque and Alan Joban.
He got fucked up by Luque. Luque
Oh
beat the
wow,
shit
he
out of
beat
him.
Chris Curtis a long time ago too.
Yeah. You talking about
That's
he got
crazy.
fucked up by Luque and then turned around and got it back in blood. Come on, stop.
Stop. Uh,
Stop. That whole week they was playing nothing but highlights of him knocking him out, knocking him out, knocking him out, and then he came back and got him out of there. Stop it.
he got a decision. He didn't get it back in blood. Stop playing with me.
I don't care.
To get it back in blood, you can't get a decision.
Hey, I'm sorry, but didn't you say a win is a win?
Oh, he won. I'm not disputing that,
Oh,
but don't
okay.
say he got it back in blood.
What are his best wins?
Best wins obviously is going to
Leon
be
Edwards.
Leon.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Stephen Thompson.
Sean Brady too, because that was a finish.
You know what? I will say Sean Brady. It's not even because it was a finish, because he took his oath.
Yep. And people thought it would be way more competitive than it was.
For
I think. Well,
me,
yep.
Yep.
for me, it's the last three: Leon, Gilbert, and Sean. Just based off the fact that like they were gatekeeping the title the whole time. You know what I mean? When he beat Vicente, he's supposed to get a shot. They said no, make him go up against Sean Brady, Mr. Undefeated. All right, cool. And then after that, he's supposed to get a shot. Then it was like no, threw Gilbert Burns' stupid self inside there. He got him out of there. And I'm gonna keep saying this over and over. Bilal came in with the injury and coming off of Ramadan. He came in with his leg
Ankle.
swollen in all the pictures. Your boy Gilbert got hurt in the fight competition, and then went inside there and did what he did to Leon Rocky Edwards. Yeah, go ahead and sigh,
So
because your boy Kobe couldn't do it. Kobe couldn't.
Big facts.
What did Kobe do besides be a loser to Kamaru Usman? That's his biggest accomplishment.
first of all, Leon,
Oh, you got him, Scott. Look at this.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah.
Listen, I live in
He
Phoenix,
tripping,
Arizona. It's
bruh.
115 today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we agree on the Leon, Sean Brady, and then we have a coin flip between Thompson and Gilbert. Oh, I'm sorry, CJ. What do you think his best wins are?
Leon, Sean, and Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy
I
it
mean,
is.
Gilbert's a good win too. Those are all pretty good wins, but stylistically, we know what he was gonna do to Wonder Boy. We was just gonna hold him up against the cage. He has some good wins, but they're just not impressive.
He's got some terrible losses.
So does Aljo.
What was Aljo's terrible loss?
He was killed by Marlon Moraes. He was knocked out by
Yes, he was.
Sean O'Malley.
Well, that's not a terrible. I mean, that's just
I'm
Welcome to
sorry.
Global Gym.
Last week, y'all tried to sit up here and tell me that Sean O'Malley sent him to the Shadow Realm. Now, all of a sudden, it ain't terrible because it
Okay.
was never to the fucking
Wait.
Shadow Realm. Y'all just be moving the
Let me
goalposts,
clarify.
making
No
up
one's
stuff.
moving the goalposts.
Y'all are
No one's
crazy
moving the
out here.
goalposts.
Let me clarify. What I meant by the shadow realm, I didn't mean he was unconscious for like 10
That's
minutes.
what the Shadow
I
Realm
just
is.
meant, well,
Your
to me,
shadow realm.
the shadow realm is when you lose consciousness in general. To me, took your soul, shadow realm, whatever. It's interchangeable to me. It could mean something different to you. That's fine. But if you go unconscious and your body goes limp for a second, to me, you got sent to the shadow realm for 2.5 seconds. But still, the shadow realm to me. And Aljo did face plant onto the mat. Like I don't know. I don't think he was conscious when he fell flat on his face. But yeah, I think they both gotten KO'd before, so I don't think it should. Their losses shouldn't matter that much, honestly.
Fair. So, who do we think has the better resume?
I still might go Aljo.
I still go Aljo.
Aldo. He just fought more former champs. Just plain and simple.
Yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like they're a little. It's funny. The Yan fight is a little bit similar to the Leon fight with Bilal, because like they were both dominant at some point, but there were clear rounds where you could say like obviously Leon won round three, and at the end of round five, Leon started pouring elbows on him. And with Aljo, when he fought Yan, the first three rounds were his, and then the last two, Yan was putting it on him. But yeah, I just feel like he he's fighting harder competition, in my opinion.
Um, I I don't know. I just feel like it's Bilal.
You feel like Bilal, or you just want to say Bilal?
No,
Do
I just
you
feel
like
like it's Bilal.
Aljo?
I actually do. I'm one of the only people. Me and CJ, the
Okay,
only people
cool.
on the pod that like actually like have always like never been like
I like
disrespectful to
Aljo.
Aljo.
I like
I
We
like
never had an issue
I
with him.
like Aljo. I just think he a goofy ass fighter though. Like
He
he's not a
is.
world beater, you know. Like
He is.
he's
Aljo.
he's beat champions and things like that.
But I
He's
think
just a goofy ass
also
fighter.
I think also like when I'm looking at this, the reason why he was able to
Not
beat champions is because he was a champion. It's not like he was beating them on the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Bilal just became a champion. You know what I mean? And so the champions that he'd be able to fight is Leon and Kamaru. Those are the only former champions that are still in the division. Everybody else is gone, so he won't be able to knock off
Yep.
those other champs the way that Aljo has. So they're at
Yep.
different stages in their career. Aljo is now trying to rebuild up at 145, but I really watching back, Bilal's run to the of course it's biased. Of course I'm biased, but watching his run to the title was just like I was rooting for him because it was infuriating what was happening to him. He was, you know, so I'm
Fair.
going
Sky,
with
that is
Bilal.
Sky. That's why context matters in certain things when you say things. So if
Yep,
Aljo was fighting people that were champions before, how is Bilal going to be able to beat champions if he ain't never got a chance to fight those guys on the way up?
exactly. Yeah,
Context matters in every situation.
yeah, facts.
Well, and then also what I noticed last week in the comments, people were really fired up about overrated, underrated, and properly rated, which we used to do a lot on the pod. I think it's time for a return. Are we ready?
Run it.
All
So
right. And I know, and I'm putting this, all right, hold on, let me calm down.
Oh God.
Here we go. Overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Tony El Kakui Ferguson.
Career or now?
Yeah, I'm about to say we
Career.
gotta break it down.
Career.
I think okay, real quick, when we're talking about the ratings, we also need to like kind of like come up with like a system or an idea of like what is the actual rating? Like who are we speaking for when we're saying like if they're you know what I'm saying? Like what is the overall consensus of Tony Ferguson right now? Like are the
mhm.
streets saying that he was never like that so I
It
just in general.
depends on what rooms you in, because sometimes I'm in the rooms when I'm live and things. People are like, "Man, Tony was never good. He was never good." So it just depends on where you at in certain situations, you know.
And that's why I decided to bring it up, just because I've ran into a lot of those people recently that's just fucking disrespecting Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
So that's why I said overrated, underrated, properly rated, the career of Tony Ferguson. What do you think, Sky?
I think it's I think it's properly rated.
Okay, context?
I think from mm, I'm sorry. No. I think it's underrated because based off of what I've been seeing, it's just like people just like crapping on Tony. And like we even had Joker, which is a frequent watcher of the pod, watches every week, comments every week, and he was like Tony Ferguson was never that guy because he's a Khabib guy, you know. And so for me, it's like as a Tony fan, watching Tony run through the division, like I was one of them people that was drinking the juice saying, "Hey, Tony is the guy. He is the one that's gonna get Habib out of there, you know." But we'll never be able to see that. And then when you see him go on an 8 fight losing streak, it looks crazy. But I think
Yeah.
overall, like he's underrated based off of his latter part of his career.
Isaiah?
I'm gonna say properly rated. I don't really think he's overrated necessarily because I don't see anybody saying like he would have beat Habib and been champ all that often now. He's a good matchup for Habib because he actually has like offensive or defensive ground game a little bit. Like he can throw up submission attempts from his back and elbows and shit. So I think I think he's properly rated, and I do think what was I gonna say? I feel like his skill set. I think he'd be in the top five. I don't think he'd be champ though. I think there are matchups at lightweight now that he would lose to. So I think
CJ?
he's rated.
I hate to say this. Look, I got this motherfucker on my shirt right now.
Right.
I hate to say it. I'm a big fan of bro, and it's not his fights because his fights were quality fights and wins. I feel like the people, the way they talked about him, is a little bit overrated because they just say he would beat everybody. He would beat these people. He would beat these people. Like Tony was hella good, but Tony was also getting beat up in a lot of those fights, and he would pull it out the fire, and he will end up winning the fight. And I hate saying this shit because look, if you go back, I'm looking at it. He won the Ultimate Fighter. He lost to MJ, and then boom, 12 fights, going crazy until he lost to JG, and then it goes downhill from there. I'm not saying he was bad or whatever. It's just the context of how people talk to him. I feel like they overhype him a little bit too much. But I love Tony. Don't get it fucked up. I love Tony. I
No,
want him
I
to walk.
agree.
I want him to walk away, bro. Like stop it. But I also be like, bro, if you don't want to take care of yourself and continue to go, like, bro, I'm not gonna have no sympathy for you if you continue to get beat up. It is what it
Facts.
is.
Yeah, I feel like when people talk about Tony, they kind of paint it like it was a Habib run a little bit. Like when he's dominating these people, he's taking zero damage. Like he's flawlessly dominating them. And a lot of those fights, he got damaged and hurt. And it was wars. Like a lot of them were wars. So at least from when I look at fans now, I don't see people typically saying like, "Oh, Tony destroys the top five now." So I don't really feel like he's that overrated.
Jace.
Yes? Is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah, with without a shadow of a fucking doubt, Tony Ferguson's career at this point with people is underrated. 100%. Y'all motherfuckers better start throwing some respect on El Kukui's name, and I will take it to my grave. Call me the Undertaker. Tony in his prime before JG would have beat Habib, would have fucking bladed and shaded him 100%. I'll write it on my tombstone. Tony would have beat Habib. And now all this just disrespect and people, because obviously, there's that meme going around for saying that, hey, it's Tony time to it's time Tony.
That's
I
been going
get
on
it.
the past 2.5 years.
I get
Yeah.
it.
It's time, brother. Hang
I
it up.
get it. Listen, and I'm on the boat. You know what I mean? I'm on the boat. I
It
want
took you
Tony to
forever
retire.
to join.
It did take me forever to retire because I'm like Tony. I wanted him to get that hero win, walking out head held high, waving to the crowd. You know what I mean? Like that's what we all wanted for Tony. but it didn't happen that way. It's definitely not going to happen that way. You know what I mean? I mean, who knows? Tony might be doing bare knuckle fighting next. Like, oh my
No,
god.
no.
Oh,
Man,
I could.
don't
That's what
don't
the
even
kids on the
manifest
street. That's
that.
what the kids on the street are saying. But I definitely am so tired of people disrespecting Tony Ferguson
That's
and forgetting.
that's the part I'm with you on that, bro. But it's, you know what it is. Like I keep saying, bro, it's the young people, right? They're seeing it now. Then they'll go to Wikipedia or something like this, or like, well, this guy's not good. This guy's not good. When you can look down his list and you don't know the names that are he's beaten, you just automatically assume that those people weren't good on his run.
Yeah, like when he beat Kevin Lee, like I know Kevin Lee is a joke. Like we'd be like, oh, where does
Yeah,
Kevin Lee
Kevin
fit
Lee is
into this?
nice.
But like at that time, Kevin Lee was supposed to be that dude. He was the
Yes,
next big prospect. And when he was losing the fight, and he
he
did
was
pull it
losing.
out the fire. And when he beat Kevin Lee, I mean, like he stopped Kevin Lee's motion. Kevin ain't been right since.
Ain't being right
And
saying.
that was a big win. But if you just look back at that win against Kevin Lee for the interim
Now
title,
it's a,
you
now
just
it's a
like
joke.
you
Yeah,
like, oh, it's Kevin Lee. Like, who is that? Hey, Keith Lee, big brother. No.
real shit. Now that's real
I
shit.
think I think
Oh
the,
shit!
Hey,
the thing
no,
that
real shit. What happened to Greg Gillespie?
Gregor
Greg,
Gillespie,
yes. What happened to him?
that
Where is
nigga.
bro?
He has one of the best finishes I've ever seen in my life.
You mean when he
Yep,
got finished?
yep.
Yes, exactly. That
Kevin,
was
Kevin,
scary.
I was there live for that.
Gregor Gillespie. That was scary.
But like, I just want to know where bro's at. Like, I don't know what happened there.
Listen, it's okay to do other things in life.
No, he wanted to fight. It was like something weird happened. I think he might be like in some type of contract dispute and it's just like being frozen out. I don't know. Did you have another one or no?
Oh, I mean, we can do more.
I was gonna say, I feel
I
like the thing with like, especially when we do this overrated, underrated stuff, and especially when it's fighters in the past, right? I think when we talk about opponents, whether beyond name recognition, even, right? I think it's important to also question if the fighters they beat would be ranked highly today. So, like with the Tony Ferguson you just said, Kevin Lee back then could absolutely be like a ranked. I don't think he'd be in the top five, but he could be in the top 10, like number seven, number six. If Bobby Green and Renato Moicano were top 15, Kevin Lee back then.
Hey, woo, woo, hey,
No,
hey,
but can I
hey,
slow your
whoa,
roll real
Not
whoa.
quick?
saying those
Can
aren't
I?
bad people, but I think Kevin Lee back then are better. That's my opinion.
I fuck
So
with
Kevin
Money
Lee,
Mikado.
so you don't think Anderson Silva could beat Imavov and Kyle Baralio? They in the top five right now.
I don't think so. No,
You
well, I'd
out your
have to see.
eyes,
I don't think so. I
man.
genuinely don't think so.
If
But
you
here's my
don't think
thing, right?
Anderson, the
I
motherfucking
understand.
Spider Silva, can't
I
beat
know.
Imavov,
I know.
you're
But
crazy.
look, but look,
You don't think he
look.
can beat Jared Cannonier at his prime age? You
He's not
smoking
beating
that good
Jared Cannonier either. I'm
in
sorry.
his prime age?
No, he's not beating
Hey,
Jared Cannonier. I'm
and
sorry.
wait, while I go, I gotta go.
But
Y'all be
wait,
good,
bro,
man.
before you leave, because you brought up an interesting point about the PlayStation, right? So I think in the way you describe the PlayStation analogy, if you enjoy the PS2 better than the PS5, you're not wrong because that's where you get your enjoyment from it. But if you say, look, which system performs better? Which God of War, the God of War on PS2 or the God of War on PS5 performs better?
but that's always gonna be the newer technology though.
But this is my point
But
though,
the thing
right?
is, I lived through both things, right? So I was
Yeah.
there when the shit was hot, and I'm here when the new shit is hot. You wasn't
And this
there
is
when the young shit was
I
hot.
wasn't,
That's
but guess what?
that's the thing. So you're looking back at things with a newer mind to go look back at the old shit, discrediting the old shit. That
Yeah,
be the problem.
but
You're
guess
looking at
what,
things,
right?
so you can go. Hold on. You can already go through Wikipedia and go pick out losses and wins, and already have an opinion in your mind on what's going to happen in the fight. You can already see clips already happen. When me and Jace was watching that shit live, that's be the difference. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
we have a different connection on this because we were watching Anderson Silva live carrying the UFC. He was that guy during the UFC. So when we hear people who just, no disrespect to you again, bro, starting in 2019 when Anderson Silva was at the end of his career, right? When he's fighting Jared Cannoniers and all these dudes when he was already beat up. And mind you, he started fighting in 2002. What year were you born at, son?
2003.
Nigga, he started fighting before you was busted out. You know
Nah, for
what
sure.
I'm saying? Come
But
on now.
but this isn't. But all of
What year
these
did
facts.
Anderson Silva step
But
into hold on,
listen.
hold on.
I
What
don't.
year
But
did Anderson Silva step into the UFC? 2006. You were 3 years old, my guy.
mm-hmm.
It's
Good.
like it's
Can I
hard to hear
respond?
opinion no, cause I gotta leave, bro. I gotta pack. I'm about to be in these motherfucking fights, bro, cause that's what real niggas do. Casual ganger don't bang. Much love to y'all, man.
Nah, for sure.
Oh
He
shit!
did.
Hold
That
on. That's a
doesn't.
Mic
mic
drop.
drop. Hold on, that's a
Mic
mic
drop.
drop.
That's
Hold
a
on.
mic drop. Okay.
We gotta embrace
So I
this.
will say. So I will say. I think it's only fair for me to respond because that was all targeted towards me.
Yeah, I'm just gotta bask
It
in
is
the
interesting.
ambiance.
It is interesting to start a dialogue with someone and not listen to the other side. But if I was born in the '70s and fell in love with Anderson Silva and couldn't possibly watch my beloved GOAT get surpassed by the new generation, I would be offended too. But the thing is, right? If someone 10 years down the line is better than Izzy, like technically, and has a better resume, I'm okay with that.
But that's
Even now.
always gonna happen. It's
But I
going to
but
happen.
my point is,
It's
but
it's
I
it's
agree, but my point is that I kind of don't take offense to that. That doesn't bother me,
I
right?
don't think that people are necessarily offended by the opinion. I think they're offended by the argument, the reasoning behind it.
But is the reasoning wrong is what I'm asking. Is
The
Forrest
reasoning
Griffin
is
a
is,
top
is
five?
flawed. Is flawed because life always progress, right? All things should progress. Like
Mhm.
these, Israel Adesanya should not be fighting at the same level as anybody in the early 2000s, or that means
But
that the sport did not evolve.
But
hold
then
on.
he's
Okay,
yeah.
wait. Hold
I'll
on.
let you go,
I've
Jay.
been quiet. Here's the thing about this, and there's two quick things, or a few quick things. Number one, there's no reason on earth, right? With your guy, and you're saying Jed Newer is better. If he's so much better than Anderson, why when they fought when Anderson was already 40 years old? Could Izzy not get Anderson out of there if he's so much better? And he
I
fought
mean, he did
Anderson.
beat him
Wait,
comfortably.
he should have got him out of there if he's that dude and so much better and fighting a
Mhm.
guy who is 10 years older than him with these.
Yep.
You're saying old, tired techniques, reflexes not old. Like if he is that
Yep.
dude standing on 10 toes, he should have got him out of there, and he did not. He could not, shall I say?
No, but
Anderson was never in real danger, right? Like,
yeah,
let's be fair.
he got rocked in round one, but yeah,
The fight itself it felt like a sparring match,
it did.
right?
Izzy was emoting and you know,
But I put that on Izzy, right? Because part of it.
absolutely.
Here's the thing, and I don't know if you've been listening to the pod long enough, because we talk about this. One of my favorite people to always talk back on the pod is Mr. Jalen Turner, right? Who on paper has all the attributes that you want as a fighter. But you know what he don't got? That motherfucking dog. He ain't got that killer instinct in him. And then secondly, real fast, just to piggyback on the PS2 point, pound for pound, the PS2 is a better system than the PS5. The jump from PS1 to PS2 was so much bigger than PS4 to PS5. That's just a real quick, hot take on it, but it's a factual situation. Like it changed the game, right?
Hmm.
Supposed to 4 to 5 was just a upgrade. There's a difference.
I definitely agree with
So
that.
I was gonna say, in response to the Anderson and Izzy fight, I mean, Jared Cannonier got Anderson out of there in one round, right? I don't think any of us think Jared Cannonier is a better fighter, striker, whatever than Izzy, and obviously it's evident because they fought and Izzy won comfortably. Uriah Hall finished Anderson Silva. I don't think any of us here think Uriah Hall is better than Izzy or Cannonier, right?
But
So I
see,
would say it's a little bit of MMA math, which can be
yeah,
used sometimes, but I don't think, like I said, if they fought prime for prime, I think Izzy has better technique. I think he's faster.
But
Yeah,
they fought in Izzy's prime, and
they
Izzy
did.
couldn't get him out of there. So the argument
I
for
mean,
me.
even if Izzy, but if Izzy wins by decision, it won't change anything. He'd still be better. Even if he got a unanimous decision over 5 rounds, he would still be the better fighter.
Yes,
I
he
don't.
did with
And
someone
and,
who
and when you
was
look,
out of his prime.
yes, who also got knocked down by Chael Sonnen in his
Yeah,
prime.
yeah, but we're talking about like MMA
Anybody
math.
can
Wait,
get knocked
wait,
down. I
real
mean,
fast.
Izzy just got knocked down by Sean Strickland in his prime.
And Sean
So
Strickland would,
is a better
I almost
striker
said
than
dog
Izzy.
walk. Sean Strickland would beat Anderson for 5 rounds.
So
Comfortably.
Sean Strickland is a better striker than Izzy, then correct?
According to what you just.
Why would
Yeah.
Sean be better than Izzy in my opinion?
He outstruck him. He showed better technique. He knocked him down. He won comfortably, a
If you want to,
decision.
if you want to say that, that's fine. I personally don't think so because I don't think Izzy performed his best in that fight. But if you think that, I would.
So
There
now
you
we're making
go.
excuses.
Now
Wait,
you got-
now we making
Wait,
excuses. Wait,
Scott,
what?
I'm making excuses. I said
Yeah,
if you want to say that Strickland is better than better striker than Izzy, I wouldn't disagree.
I
Like
just
if,
use.
unless Izzy shows that he is better than that fight, if he shows a better performance, which he did with Drew Duplessis, but if you think that Izzy loses to Strickland, that's also fine.
I mean,
But I'm okay with what's
real
up.
fast, and then let's keep the show moving. All I
hmm
did was use every single talking point you used on me, and then just plugged in two different names, and then you came with a
But the difference is
well. He had a bad night.
I'm willing to accept that
No,
Izzy
you
could be
didn't.
worse than
No,
Sean
no,
Strickland.
no, you didn't. No, you
I'll
didn't.
say it right now.
No,
Then
no,
Izzy
no.
is a worse striker than Sean Strickland, and
Okay,
they both would clap Anderson. So what is that? That doesn't make your point right.
well,
That's
to
I,
just
me
me
it
doubling
does.
down on my opinion.
the more that I hear this argument, the more I lean towards Anderson Silva. The reason being, when I really think about, and I think CJ and Jace did a good job today making a point of like Anderson in his prime and just the feeling and the aura that he had at that time. If we look back at his performances, just based off of his performances, not his opponents or who he was fighting, he was out there styling on them. He's the reason why Izzy, he is who Izzy wants to be, because and I love Izzy. He's my second favorite fighter. But oftentimes Izzy comes out and he tells us he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that, and then he goes out there and we don't get that. It's a flat performance where he just wins, and it's nothing spectacular. But when we go back to Anderson Silva was out there styling on these people in real time, in real life. And that's what got Izzy into the sport of MMA at that. And so when I think about that, and I'm like, if we put them up inside of their primes, I think we definitely see a different performance than we see at UFC 243 at Anderson versus. And in that fight, like Izzy even said, like he did not want to finish Anderson Silva. He said he never was going to even try to even go that route because he had so much respect for him.
So what I'll say, we can end this off, but I kind of brought up this analogy because I spoke about this off the podcast. It's kind of like, and I don't mean this in an insulting way to any of the fighters. They're all
Hold
well
on,
rated.
hold on, hold on. Before you say this, let me turn off my mic. I feel
Okay.
like you're about to say the most insulting shit ever.
Um, it would be like if I showed you Israel Adesanya highlights where he's getting round one question mark hit KOs, and they're all New Zealand regional fighters. Would you be impressed by that? That's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer it, but the answer is generally no. You could say Izzy's good. He's
That's
nice.
that's not my answer
Okay. Well,
personally,
I would think.
because regardless of if it's regional or not, if you're continuously getting something off on somebody, they know that it's coming and they can't stop it, and you're knocking them out with continuous question mark kicks. Yeah, that's impressive. Like the kick that he got that got him into the UFC. Yeah, that's impressive
Mhm.
to
But it's
me.
over an opponent that has no value in the sport,
No
skill
value to who though, because what ends up
no value. The
every time
highest ranking fighter
Kamaru
starts
Fucking
there.
Usman
fighter
lost.
starts.
Kamaru
Every
Usman.
fucking fighter starts on a
Kamaru
fucking
Usman
thing.
lost his
Every
second fight in the
motherfucking
UFC. I
fighter.
mean, not in the UFC.
Every fucking fighter starts on fucking regional.
One,
Every fighter.
Yeah,
Kamaru is a welterweight
Every
goat now because he's
fucking
beating ranked
fighter.
opponents.
right.
And
But
two, If
Where
that's
did
the
he
case,
start from?
Jace, if
Where
that's
did
the
he start
case,
from?
can you name the fighter who got question mark kick KO by
Where
Izzy?
did he start from?
I know it's a white dude. I've seen that. I've posted the clip. But listen, what
Okay,
I'm
so none
saying
of us
is
know his
Kamaru
name.
Usman lost. Just because I don't know somebody's name doesn't mean anything. There's over
Hold
700
on,
UFC.
hold on. Shout out to Rich Flair.
Yeah,
What is
exactly.
going
You know,
on?
there's over 750 active UFC fighters right now. I do not know all of their names. But
Hmm.
what I will say is that Kamaru Usman lost his second fight to somebody nobody knows.
Yeah,
Nobody knows. But that does not. And so every time you get in, Kamaru Usman is one of the greatest fighters to fight during this current time.
but why?
Just because it was at a regional level doesn't mean every time you step into that octagon, you have the possibility of losing. It's another person on the other side of you. There's the possibility of losing every single time. There's a possibility your first punch you throw, you can break your hand. That's it. It's over. You can't defend yourself. It's a fight.
Yeah.
Fire.
But you would say Kamaru Usman is the best fighter, one of the best fighters in the world, and one of the best welterweights because of the competition he beat. That is
Because
objective.
because
You
of his
wouldn't
streak.
over his high level opponents. If he had, there's someone in some weird regional promotion that's like 20-0 right now. No one's calling them the greatest thing, and anything. No one's calling them the great at
Well,
anything.
obviously, because we're not watching them, there's not a spotlight on them. But if they come over to the UFC and they're 20-0 and they start getting wins, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna pay attention to the fact that you got inside the octagon 20 times and won. That still means something because there are people
But
who
you
are
guys
not
have
20
to
and 0.
hold. Jay said this last week. He said, "I think Habib's overrated because
That's
he
what he
only
said.
had like four
That's his
wins, right?
argument, not mine.
Over certain, and everybody else isn't really is kind of a non-factor." That's the opinion I got. Maybe that's not what Jason meant,
That's
but
what he
I think
feels.
people,
So for me to answer that, it really depends. So
yeah,
for me,
I mean,
I grew up where UFC was not the biggest thing, right? When I started watching MMA, the biggest thing in the world, the biggest organization in the world was Pride. Pride
mhm.
had all the fighters. Pride was freaking amazing. I love Pride. I wish the UFC would install some of Pride rules. Pride rules were crazy. There was no laying and praying. You would get a yellow card for stalling, and they would deduct money from your cash purse. Like it was just a different vibe. But that being said, I think we kind of said what we had to say about this. Sky, we do have fights coming up this weekend. Shall we take a look at the card real fast? I know we're running low on time.
Yes, let's take a look real quick at the card. Hopefully I get to go.
Hey, shout out back to back. Even though I do
Because
like your Cruella DeVille voice going on right now.
y'all, it was crazy in there. It was Dana lost his mind. Everybody lost their mind.
I didn't think the first fight was that good. Like Dana was getting up, going crazy. I was just
I
like,
didn't think it was that good either. I
"This
mean,
is
it
a
wasn't bad, but if we're talking about if you guys are listening, we're talking about Dana White's Contender Series. Um, it was cool, but it wasn't that. Real quick, this weekend we have Gilbert Burns taking on Sean Brady. Um, it's just this is a typical Apex card. I mean, it's a little bit elevated because Gilbert and Sean is they add a little bit more
start at
sprinkle
the
on the
bottom."
top. Pause.
Oh, Mach Snell. Who the
Yeah,
fuck is this guy from Lithuania?
no idea. They still got Andre Petrosky down at the bottom. I don't know why they be playing him like that. I mean, the card is what it is. Felipe Dos Santos,
Santos.
he had a really good fight. Ryan Spann
OSP.
and OSP, yeah,
What a terrible fucking fight. Oh my
and they put
god.
him at the prelims.
Hey, right now, for all the betters, bet decision. Bet decision. Bet fight over 2.5 rounds. Bet the house over 5.2 rounds.
um,
Hey, that match Snell Cody Durden fight should be a banger.
Yeah, because Cody has slowly been like having like his last three fights have actually been exciting. Because prior to that, he was just like a decision king, and it was like really really boring. Steve Garcia always comes out to bang. So does Kyle Nelson. But as y'all already know, and I've been talking about it for a while now, Natalia Silva is one of the best 120 women at 125, hands down. If you don't know, her last fight is the only fight that went to the decision. Everything, well, no, her first fight against Jasmine Jasnovitakis was a masterclass. She looked like a young Izzy out there styling on her. Then after that, she had 2 back-to-back knockouts. Yes, knockouts. And then obviously going up against the former champ, Jessica Andrade, who is saying that her former manager got her
Took
for 2
millions.
mils.
Oh, that was her manager?
Yeah. Yeah, it was her
Wow, I did
manager.
see that today. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm like, she coming off a divorce and finding out that her money's been embezzled. That's crazy.
All right, so let's go ahead and get these picks off. Yes,
Top 3.
top 3.
Yeah, we're not gonna do. I don't want to do the full card. Yeah,
Fair.
the top 3. So Steve Garcia versus Kyle Nelson.
I'm
going Steve. I like Steve.
I'm going old Canada, Kyle Nelson.
Of course you are.
What's that mean?
You like he's Canadian.
Don't you know? Shout out to all my people in Regina. That's a real place. Regina, Saskatoon.
What about you?
Or sorry, wait. Regina, Saskatchewan. I don't want to get set on fire in the comments.
Saskatchewan.
Isaiah?
I don't have a pick for Steve Garcia and I can't read his name. The guy.
Kyle Nelson.
Yeah. I don't have a pick.
I'm going Natalia Silva, obviously.
Natalia Silva. I'll try to watch.
Just
After what that girl just did tonight,
Listen, she
you better
did her.
stop.
She punched her in the fucking forehead. That was the most impressive thing about it. Like that was wild.
No, as I was running around, Jace, I'm running. I'm like, oh, you fucking, I'm going crazy, right? And then my friend that I went with, she goes, I think she's dead. And like I stopped and I turned around, she's still light as a feather, stiff as a board, hadn't moved, hadn't opened her eyes. I was like, no, wait a minute. And then like everybody started like, wait a minute. You know, like let's pay attention. And then finally she moved and we all started clapping.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you have a pick? Isaiah?
Wait. There is no. Wait, stop it. There is no. I'm not gonna pick. You got to pick.
Oh wait, no, because I don't know who.
It doesn't matter. Just pick.
People. I don't want to pick someone.
Any, mini, money, mo.
Yeah,
I know
young
who Jessica Andrade is, and what's it called? Sky just told me about Natalia Silva. I didn't get a chance to look at Natalia Silva fights.
You got a 50-50 chance of being right.
50-50?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look, it's okay.
You said she looked like...
We be wrong all the time.
She
Her
said
first
she-
fight. Yeah, her first fight.
You said
Young
Natalia
Izzy.
Silva looked like young Izzy, so I'm going to say Natalia Silva.
Go back and watch that fight if y'all haven't. I'm telling you, it's very entertaining. And then
I
her
will.
2 knockouts is very entertaining too. But then Gilbert Burns taking on Sean Brady.
I think Gilbert Burns should be fine. If he's not finished after his long career, he should be good. It should be a relatively, I don't want to say dominant, but he shouldn't take any damage. Hopefully.
Whoa, Sky.
Ooh, we just seen Gilbert lose to who?
Belal. Oh, no, JDM.
No.
That was JDM.
JDM. Mm-hmm. Oh, yay.
That's
But
a
you know what?
change.
He was winning that fight until he
beating the
wasn't.
shit out of JDM until he wasn't.
He wasn't beating the
Sean
shit out of
Brady.
him, but
He was
winning.
beating the shit out of
He
JDM.
was wrestle fucking. He wasn't like bloodying him up.
Beat Gastelum. Okay. Well, this is
Look
a
at you
good
trying to
fight.
make informed opinions. What the fuck?
Oh, me? Sorry.
Damn. Look, hold on.
Hey.
Let me get my shit right.
I was just letting y'all get y'all stuff off. I'm gonna go with Gilbert.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm gonna go with Gilbert.
I feel like he's
Fair.
fought better wrestlers, better power punchers.
Well, yeah, because he's been around longer. But that being said,
Hamzat just actually came into the UFC around the same time as Izzy, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, for sure. It's one of his best wrestling performances was against a new fighter, by the way, just to clarify. Not getting finished by Dan Hooker. Sorry. You can go.
Well, thank you, sir. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that this begins the end for Gilbert Burns, and I'm going with Sean Brady, who actually I don't even like. Like, I hear him talk. He comes off very cocky, very arrogant.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of... No.
Like Kobe. Oh,
No.
come on, Cook.
No, not even close. Not even close.
Cook.
He comes off almost like a Bryce.
Bryce
But yeah,
Mitchell.
yeah. Who else? Shit, fucking loser. I can't wait for Ilia to fight Max. Oh my Lanta. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Sean Brady on that.
Jace, I want you to know our relationship as you know it is in the balance.
What do you
Okay?
mean?
Yeah, you playing around with Max and Ilia. I'm not playing with you.
What are you talking about? Who's playing around?
Listen, I'm not playing.
I haven't even given my official pick on that yet.
Yes, you have.
What
Yes,
Yeah,
do you
you
mean?
are locked in with Ilia.
you never know. He might switch up. He could just
No,
be
he
trolling
cannot.
you. He
I
could
already
just.
said he
He might
cannot.
just be trolling you. Honestly.
He's not. He is not trolling. He's been saying this since last year. He
I've been
cannot switch up.
I called out Ilia a long time. Like I told everyone he was going to beat the dog shit out of Bryce Mitchell. He went in there and beat the dog shit out of Bryce Mitchell.
No, but I'm speaking specifically about your opinions on Max Holloway.
I love Max. Max is great.
Uh huh.
Why you saying it like that?
I'm just saying, because you know how I feel. I don't like when people say they love a certain fight. You don't love Max. I love
You can
Max.
love
You,
fighters
no, you
and
cannot.
still be tuned into
No,
reality.
because you want to know how you talk about them. The same way you talk about Tony and you talk about BJ Penn is when you love a fighter. You never come on here and be like, "Oh, he's gonna get washed. Somebody's gonna knock him out." You ain't never came on here and been like, "Tony Ferguson's gonna get knocked out in this fight." You
I
don't talk like that
when
about
did
him.
I
That's
say Max is gonna get knocked out?
you.
I mean, but if it's the truth, if
What?
it's the truth though, if it's the truth though, I can understand it. Like
It's definitely not the truth.
If Izzy fights Alex tomorrow, I hate to say it, I would be like, bro, I don't know, is that might be the end of him, bro.
It
Respectfully,
it really depends on the weight class.
it
No,
depends on the matchup too.
no,
Well, we know
that's
the
not.
matchup.
It's not love. That's what I'm saying to y'all. Like when you really love and you tapped in with a fighter, you have a
Uh-huh.
different level of respect. When Max was going up against Justin Gaethje, I told Jace, "Hey, this is the scariest fight that Max Holloway can fight in the UFC.
I
Period.
get what
I
you're
never
saying.
wanted to see it, but at the end of the day, when I looked at the fight, I didn't come on here and say, "Man, I'm telling you, I love Max Holloway. That's my guy, but he ain't gonna make." I never speak like that because I love Max Holloway. You don't ever speak in absolute against your guy. You gotta find a way. I said, what is he gonna do? He's gonna be quicker, his footwork, and he was going to dominate. That's what I said, and that's what ended up happening. So when you love a fighter, you don't get now when you just like them, like they just cool to you, like it's just like, oh, okay, like how I feel about Izzy. I just like Izzy.
Yeah, it was. I love Max, and that's why I picked him to beat Justin.
Anyways, y'all.
Did I not? Did,
Did
did, did, did I not pick Max Holloway to beat Justin Gaethje? It's a simple yes or no.
you switch last minute?
It's a yes or no. Did I pick Max?
I don't know. You might have.
Go ahead and roll the receipts, nigga. Ah!
You guys, with that being said, it is late because typically we start the pod a little bit earlier, but because I was at Contender Series, we had to wait, and now we're here. But either way, we will be back next week. Until then, we are out. Peace.
Glory, glory, Man United.
Get your Scarface shirt.
Go ahead, get your scrap and roll shirts while you can, while they last.
Facts.
Shameless plugs. Gotta love it.